What's up, good people? Mark Holmes here, and as always, I want to say thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, as well as you ladies, you know that this literally does not work. Hope everybody's having a great day. I'm running around a little bit here, getting some stuff done. Gonna go see my mom. Got some bird seed for her. My mom says one of her joys in life is seeing the birds. So I've got a 40-pound bag and a 50-pound bag of sunflower seeds and bird mix for her because you got to take care of your mom. And running around doing a whole bunch of things, enjoying myself, enjoying my day, and happy that I've made it on this side of 60 and nothing's fallen off. Nothing has fallen off. It might hang a little lower, but nothing's fallen off. And now I'm starting the process of heading to the 70s. At least I got 9 years and 364 days before I get there. And shout out to everybody who's already in the 60 club that said, welcome aboard, and enjoy the pain. Anyway, I saw a clip. I didn't actually see the story or read it because I'm on the road right now, that Mike Fisher is saying that there's a buzz around the Cowboys organization that they should go ahead and get Javonte Williams re-signed an extension now, as opposed to waiting till the end of the season. And that the number that's being put around is somewhere in the neighborhood of $10.7 million. Now, the thing about running backs is, I feel bad for running backs, first of all, because generally speaking, most running backs, by the time they're ready to get their second contract, have already had too much wear and tear on their bodies. Too much wear and tear. Because typically, if you go by the numbers, and don't ask ChatGPT, because ChatGPT don't know shit. I can tell you that right now. I learned that this morning. Didn't even know that Saquon Barkley had a 2,000-yard season. Not that I want to promote it for the Eagles, but it did happen. Typically, on average, most running backs, after their fourth year, start going downhill. That's not to say that some of them don't perform well. Derrick Henry is more of an enigma. He's not the typical one. But you look at right now, Saquon, after his 2,000-yard season, he don't look right. He's not the same, and not all of it's on him. A lot of it is he's getting hit in the backfield like he hasn't before. The Giants, they were just running past that offensive line of the Eagles. It's like the Eagles' offensive line got old overnight. But you look at Christian McCaffrey, you look at Saquon, those guys are $19, $20 million a year. You can remember when the Cowboys said that they weren't going to reset the market with Zeke Elliott, and they did, signing him to a $90 million contract, okay? And literally, we were still paying for Zeke last year from when we released him the year before, because we had 2 years of dead money. And then you had Tony Pollard, who they decided, let's franchise tag him, and we're going to run him until the wheels fall off, in which case he was not a bellwether back, okay? And that season was not a good season for him. He was a shell of himself because they used him the wrong way. And that was, I want to say, $10.7 million. So we're talking about what we paid for Tony Pollard for 1 year, but doing an extension. Now, here's the problem. The problem is with running backs, from 1 year to the next, there's no rhyme or reason. And getting a good one, I mean, you got Derrick Henry last year. Derrick Henry you could have gotten for $8 million last year. Now he got a raise this year that bumped him up close to 20, but that's few and far between of those guys. However, the thing I will say about Javonte Williams is, as far as being in the NFL, he has been in the NFL, I want to say this is his fourth year, because his rookie year was really good. His second year, he tore his ACL. He came back the next year and played with it, but was not real good. And I think he had another year he played last year. So this, I think, is his fifth year. Collectively, if you look at the amount of hits on his body, the amount of hits he has on his body in comparison to a running back that played 4 years directly, he doesn't have the same. Now, of course, there is still the ACL that he did tear, which seemed like it took 2 full years for him to get back where he is. It depends on how you look at using Javonte Williams. Javonte Williams, the way you're using him now, because people are like, oh, you're going to run him in the ground. Well, if you're keeping him about 15 carries a game, and he is able to get to that next level before he gets contact, because that's the key. That's the key people don't understand. The reason Emmitt Smith was able to run for as long as he did was he generally did not get hit behind the line of scrimmage or at the line of scrimmage. He would get to the second level the majority of the time. And I know you're like, well, what difference does that make? If you are getting the football and you got 300-pound plus guys that are in the backfield and one of those guys hits you and you're trying to get away, you got another 300-pound plus guy. And that's where the pileups really happen with all of the big people on it. Darren McFadden, when he was with the Raiders, stayed injured and averaged 3.3 yards a carry, who was being dropped in the backfield more times than not, and that's how he was sustaining his injuries. When he got to Dallas, and we had the Great Wall of Dallas here in 2015, he ended up rushing for almost a yard more per carry. Don't let me get it wrong, because Lord knows, my buddy will be there watching. He doesn't know stats. Well, I'm going off the top of my head here, okay? And if ChatGPT doesn't know that Saquon Barkley is part of the 2,000-yard club, I think I deserve a break. I think I deserve a break, okay? But he averaged a yard more per carry because he was able to get to the second level before he's tackled. Because more times than not, you're not ending up in the big pileups past the line of scrimmage. You're getting hit by cornerbacks, safeties, linebackers, which are smaller guys, or you're getting pushed out of bounds. That's the difference. So if the Cowboys can use Javonte Williams in the same way that they're using him right now, you can see his career having some more longevity to him being good for a couple of years. If you could sign him to like a 2-year extension, I don't know if $10 million is the number, but then when Miles Sanders left the Eagles, Miles Sanders went to Carolina and signed a 3-year, $25 million deal, which was $8 million a year. And within a year, they were kind of like, yeah, this ain't good. We're going to get rid of this guy. So it's a gamble, but I'm not sure it's the worst gamble out there. A running back I would worry about right now about longevity is Scatterboo. Scatterboo, he ain't no joke. You know, if you're a cornerback, you don't want no pieces of Scatterboo come running at you. And that's the same thing about Marion Barber, rest his soul. Marion Barber was that violent, I'm going to run you over guy. Exciting as hell. But those hits that you're taking take a massive toll on your body and your career and your life. So should the Cowboys, you know what? We got $31 million right now. $31 million. You've gotten locked up your best offensive lineman. You got your quarterback. You got your number one wide receiver that are locked up. You got your tight end, who, mind you, leads the NFL in receptions as a tight end. It looks like good money. You got your 3-technique defensive tackle locked up. It wouldn't be a bad idea to get him sewed up, because if he continues to run the way he's running, if he ends up being a 1,500-yard back and is a free agent, bro. Yeah, and he's a lot younger than Derrick Henry. Yeah, you're going to find people that want him. We got the same problem, of course, with George Pickens, because George Pickens, he understands that if he continues doing exactly what he's doing, he'll be in the top 10 of being paid wide receivers, and deservingly so. All right, you good people. Love you. We got 5 hours until our after stream, our member stream, and I'll see you guys there.